When we allow that guidance to start to enter into our life, that we feel as though we are being led. And we don't feel alone anymore. You want that, I know. So when we welcome this guidance into our life, we can start to actually do less and attract more. Doesn't that sound good?
Big show today, guys.
Happy to be with you.
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for a new generation of spiritual seekers.
So we have these moments of synchronicity and connection and guidance. And so in this book, I pushed the metaphysical envelope, and I made a decision to write about things that I've never really spoken too much publicly about. And I decided to write about what it means to me to have angel guides and spirit guides and family members that are guides and ancestors and beings of light that are there to support me. But what I also, somebody in the front's going like this. That's awesome. And so what I also decided to really share with the reader was that this doesn't have to be your way, it doesn't have to be my way. So if you don't believe in a spiritual guide, but you can believe that you have a higher self or a voice of inspiration or intuition, it can be the same. So bear with me and take what you want from this. But a really beautiful example of connecting to spirit and allowing spirit to guide you is an example of my Grammy Fritzy. Fritzy. My Grammy was the most fiery woman, much like myself. She was very petite and she was very loud, much like myself. And she just had a lot of fun, and she was very, very smart, and she was very connected, and she was really, really with it all the way through into her 90s. And Grammy and I, we would have a lot of fun together. I would go visit Grammy in Florida, and I would wear these little nightgowns with her. We would get in bed in her nightgowns that she got from China when she was on her honeymoon. And they were like these really sweet little China nightgowns, and we would get into the bed, and we would watch television and drink orange juice with ice in it, and we were just super into it. And we had fun together, and we loved each other. And then in my grandmother's early 90s, she started to get very frail, as anyone can imagine. And she had a really, really clear mind, though. And one day she fell. And we know what happens when an elderly person falls. She broke her shoulder in this case. And my mother and I were faced with two choices in this major decision for this part of her life. Is she going to live on medication and not do anything and just be medicated all the time? Or is she going to have a surgery and potentially be medicated all the time? And my mom and I were really struggling to make this decision. And it was going on for about 2 weeks of how are we going to help her? What are we going to do? Talking to doctors, trying to make the most educated decision we could. And then around that time that we were trying to figure this out, I had to go teach my Spirit Junkie Masterclass. Any Masterclass students in the house? Yeah, I hear you. I feel you in the room. So I was going to teach my Spirit Junkie Masterclass Level 2, which is a 6-day training, and I felt like, okay, I got to show up for this, even though this is going on with Grammy. And I was getting my bags together to leave to get in the car, and my team was with me, and I put all my bags together, and then all of a sudden I said to them, as we were about to go walk into the car, I said, guys, hang on a second. I feel like I need to go meditate. Just give me 10. So I walked away, and I went into my bedroom, and I sat in this little velvet chair where I would meditate. And I just felt this deep rush of love come over me. And I felt my arms just raise up to the sky. And my arms were up in the air, up in the sky, up in the sky. And I kept feeling this energy moving from my chest and this white light just energetically coming off of me and going upwards. And then my head tilted backwards. And I just felt that I was sending something off and facilitating something. And I felt so calm and at ease and purposeful. And then I just let my hands drop and came out of my meditation when I felt complete. I walked into the living room and the phone rang. It was my mom. My mom was crying on the other end of the phone. Grammy just left her body. And I said, I know, because I helped her. I knew that I was letting something go. I knew I was helping facilitate someone leave. And at that point, I was like, okay, all right, Mom, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her because now she can be free. Now she's in the healthiest, safest place that she could be. And then I said to my mom, okay, I got to go because I got to get in the car and go teach this training, so I'm going to figure this out. So I said to my Grammy, listen, Grammy, I'm going to mourn you when I have space to do this. But in the meantime, can you please show me a sign that you are okay? Show me a sign that you got there. It's like, okay, show me your sign. I went and I did my training. I had a beautiful week. I felt my grandmother around me. I was really connected. It felt so beautiful. And then I left the training on a Friday and drove about a half hour from there to my friend Zoe's house as I was heading back home because she was on the way. And I sat down in Zoe's kitchen with Zoe and my other friend Jenny. And Zoe kept saying to me, Gabby, I have this new Oracle deck and you have to pick a card. You have to pick a card. And I was like, Zoe, I'm texting Zach. I'm just trying to get an idea of what he wants me to bring home for dinner, and I'm trying to coordinate with him. Like, leave me alone. And she kept saying, but pick a card, Gabby. Pick a card, Gabby. And I kept saying, 1 minute. I'm on the phone. And so Jenny says, I'll pick a card for Gabby. So she puts her hand on the deck, and she pulls this card, and her face goes white. She turns the card around. The card had an image of an elderly woman crossing a bridge. The caption said, grandmother ensures safe crossing. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. And so this is how Spirit guides us. Spirit is loud and clear. If it's an angel, if it's a guide, if it's a deceased family member. And I have countless stories in the book, in this particular chapter, about how we can connect to this guidance. Countless stories of this synchronicity and this guidance. And that guidance is available to all of us in whatever form we believe in. And it's when we allow that guidance to start to enter into our life that we feel as though we are being led. And we don't feel alone anymore. You want that, I know. So when we welcome this guidance into our life, we can start to actually do less and attract more. Doesn't that sound good? We do less and attract more. And when we can do less and attract more, what I teach in the book is this method called the spiritually aligned action method. And it's a very valuable method for the pushers out there in the house, okay? Big one. So when I was in my late 20s, I'd been teaching and speaking publicly all throughout New York City for about 3 years. And at that time, I'd also got my first book deal. My book was going to come out in December of that year. So it was 2008, 2009? I don't remember. It's been a while. And I was preparing for this book, and I was thinking about how I felt really deeply called to bring this message to a new audience of seekers, a younger audience, a newer audience. And now it's not that crowd anymore specifically. It's much broader. But at the time, that was where I was 28 years old. I'm turning 40 in 2 weeks, people. Can you freaking believe it? Today, somebody reminded me that, and I was like, what? I'm 40? Okay. I've been doing this a long time, okay? So I was 28 years old, and this was all coming to be in my life, and I was starting to see this trend and this new zeitgeist of young women trading in their party for their meditation, and I was really at the forefront of that. And I was really wanting to share that story in a bigger way, and I wanted it to be having an impact, and I wanted it to find people particularly in a place where they may not have been looking for it. And so around that time, I saw this article in the Sunday Style section of the New York Times. It was a big, big feature placement on the cover of the Style section. And I noticed it was about my friends. It was about a bunch of my friends that were food bloggers at the time. And the article came out, and it blew their careers up. It got their messages out into major ways. They've gone on to have massive businesses and great careers. And I was looking at that beautiful article about these young food bloggers, and I saw what an impact it made on their movement that they were creating. And I ripped that masthead off the newspaper, and I put it on my vision board. And I was like, that's what I want. And there was only one reporter at the New York Times that I knew, because formerly my career was in PR. So I knew this guy, and he was in my Rolodex, no joke, Rolodex. And so I spun through my Rolodex, and I found Alan Salkin. As I call this guy Alan, and I'm cold calling. He picks up the phone and he goes, hello? Hi, Alan, it's Gabby Bernstein. We met a year ago in Soho at a dinner. What do you want? I have an interesting pitch for you. I'll make it really fast. It's all the girls that used to want to be like Carrie Bradshaw now want to be like Wayne Dyer and Marianne Williamson. And he said, interesting. I'll get back to you. I hung up that phone and I was like, I got an interesting, yes, that's major, he's interested. So the thing I want to point out is that I picked up that call with a lot of conviction, desire, service, love, confidence, and excitement. And then I got the interesting, and I didn't think that was a good idea to push that interesting. I felt like it would be nice to just let that interesting unfold. So months went by, and I let the interesting unfold, and he would send me a few emails, and he would message me at times and say, tell me a little bit more about other people that are doing this, and how is this a trend, and what's happening. And the months kept going by and by and by. And then about a month before my book came out, I get a call from Alan. It's Alan. The New York Times is picking up your story. I'll see you at your apartment next week. We're going to videotape, and we're going to take photos, and I'm going to do an interview with you, and I'll see you there. Bye. My story was happening. It was happening. It was happening. So I was so pumped. So Alan came over that Monday night, and he watched me as I coached my group coaching workshop. And he they took photos, and he was just a fly on the wall taking notes. Then when that was over, everybody left. The photographer left, the students left, and I was left in my apartment with Alan doing the interview. At the end of the interview, Alan walks over to my vision board, and he looks at the bottom right-hand corner, and he says, "What's that?" Pointing at the New York Times masthead. I said, "Well, Alan, I've been manifesting this article and this story for a really long time. About a year and a half ago, I saw this story about these food bloggers in the style section, and I just knew that that was what I wanted to manifest." And he looked at me in total shock, and he said, "I wrote that story." So yes, this is a story of synchronicity, of course, but more important, it's a story of how I took spiritually aligned action to manifest and co-create a desire that really put me on the map. I mean, that article came out, and just all of a sudden I had agents, and I was flying to Hollywood every week, and I was here doing what you do here. And that's what that article opened for me. So, it was a big deal, and it put me on the map. It put the work on the map, not me, but the work. And it started to open up women in New York City, and then women in LA, and then it all started became a trend, and everybody's drinking green juice and gluten-free and mantras. No better trend, no better trend. But the thing is, I want to really point out that I took this spiritually aligned action method to make this happen, or actually to allow this to happen. And here are the steps. The first step of the spiritually aligned action method is to make sure that your desire is backed with love and service. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, I want to lose some weight. How is that backed with love and service? Well, think about it this way. When you lose that weight, you'll feel better. Your gut will be less inflamed. You'll have more energy to spend with your children. You'll be able to walk faster down the street and feel energized in an exercise. You'll be able to bring more positive energy to the world because you feel physically better. Does that make sense? It's backed with love and service. So all of your desires can be backed with love and service when you tune into that. When it's not backed with, I need this to feel good. You with me? Good. So that's step one. And then in my case, I was backed with love and service. I wanted to get this message out into a bigger way so that there is a bigger healing for a new generation of seekers. It was loud and clear for me. So the second step is to really allow yourself to believe that there is a higher power, that there is an energy that's moving beyond your own. And when we allow that belief system to settle in, what happens is that we take our hands off the wheel, that we release that negativity and that focus and that attention and that desire to push and force and make things happen. And so in that state of spiritually aligned action, we now feel good enough and feel ready to take the next step in our journey. And so that's the third step, which is to take the action from a place of spiritual alignment, to make sure you're feeling good, to make sure you are released, and to make sure that you don't have an agenda. And then the final step is to be patient. You with me on that one? Everyone's always like, patience. Wow. Okay. So patience is so crucial to allowing. And when we're in that presence of patience, we can start to feel the guidance of a higher power. We can start to feel the presence of our guides and angels and ancestors and family members, or the energy of the universe. And tonight I actually wanted to give you a great opportunity to start to tap into that energy of the universe and feel that connection. Are you open to that? Because when you have that connection, that's when you know that your desire is backed with service and love. You can believe that there is energy beyond your own helping you move through things. You can take action from a place of spiritual alignment. And you can be patient. As A Course in Miracles says, those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. Right? So there's two major steps to allowing that presence of certainty into our life. And the first step starts with prayer. And I want to read from the book, this message from the book, about how we can tap into that prayer. Let me grab my page. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This is one of my favorite chapters in the book, Do Less and Attract More. Okay. Tune in through prayer. When you're stuck in your logical and practical thought system, you can't connect to the infinite wisdom that is available to you at all times. But when you pray, you temporarily suspend the limitations of your worldly mind and reconnect to the infinite wisdom of a divine guidance beyond your own. Prayer is the pathway to surrender. When you pray for guidance, you release your control, your will, and your agenda to the care of your spiritual guide. Prayer is a bridge from your controlling, fearful mind to the right mind of love. Whenever you pray for guidance, you instantly realign with your super-attractor power. A prayer reclaims your faith in a higher power and is a humble request to transcend the false, fear-based beliefs of the world and remember the light of who you are. When praying becomes second nature, you feel relief because you know that at any time you can connect to the love of the universe through spiritual guidance that is always available to you. Of course, fearful thoughts will come up, but you'll replace them with a prayer. Let prayer become a habit that is stronger than your fear. So when we pray, we open up to that spiritual wisdom and that guidance. And there's this moment that I had last year when who was at Agape with me for the Judgment Detox tour? I guess we got a whole new crowd tonight. Cool, that's good news. So I was at Agape a year and a half ago for Judgment Detox, and at Agape, I was in the bathroom waiting to come out to see you all, and there was this beautiful sign on the wall, and it said, "Faith isn't asking God to help you. Faith is knowing that help is on the way." So I want to get you into an energy of knowing right now. And so let's close our eyes, and then let's say a prayer, and then if you're interested or willing, let's welcome in our guide. Maybe you'll hear the voice of an ancestor. Maybe you'll hear the voice of a family member or a teacher. Or maybe you'll just hear a name like Frank. Or maybe you'll hear chewing gum. Or you'll hear something that comes through. And I don't want you to deny or ignore any of what comes through tonight, because it is the message that you are here to receive. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Tune into the energy that is within you and around you. And together we say, thank you, guidance of the highest truth and compassion, for opening me up to what is of the highest good for all, and for showing me that I am ready to receive, that I am ready to release fear tonight. And in this moment, I open my heart and my mind to receive that guidance now. Taking a deep breath in and feel into that space in your heart. Calling in the guidance of the highest truth and compassion. Thank you, guidance, for revealing your presence to me. I'm open, I'm willing, I am ready to receive your guidance. And I set the intention now to send a message to you that when you show me this sign, whatever sign comes to your mind right now in this moment, don't think, when you show me this sign, I know that you are with me. Just think of your sign now and let it go. Take a deep breath in and release. When you're ready, open your eyes to the room. With this connection, we start to see the signs, and we start to see the synchronicity, and we start to see the speed, and we start to feel the energy of that presence of love around us.
I hope you're enjoying this show. And if you want to get more Gabby, you can click the link below, subscribe to my Dear Gabby podcast on Apple, be the first to know when the episodes drop because they come out 1 week before the video. And you can download it to your phone, listen to it while you're driving, while you're cooking, while you're working out. You can just get more Gabby wherever you are. And if you feel called, leave a review. I'd love to hear from you. Now let's get back to this episode.
And we begin to have unwavering faith in the universe. 2 weeks before I delivered my son, Oliver, I had just turned 39. And then my doctor decided that I was 40. And he brought all of his fear and all of his concern into my birthing process. And he said, in this hospital, we do 40 and 40. And I'm like, but I'm 39 as of yesterday, 40 and 40. And I was really freaking out about this. And I was taking on a lot of his fear and a lot of the discomfort of the worldly stories. And he was wanting me to be induced at 40 weeks if the baby didn't come at that time. So I was really hung up about it. And one afternoon, I was sitting in his office trying to make this decision with him. And he walked out, and I said, universe, I need a sign. So he walked back in, and I noticed his tie for some reason, just randomly. And I was like, Howie, what's on your tie? And he said to me, it's cardinals. They're my favorite bird. I said, oh, okay. And he walked out again, and I said, okay, cardinal's my sign. Cool. And when I see that cardinal or I get that cardinal, I'll know that I'm on the right path. I had to make a decision in 24 hours whether or not I was going to be induced because I had to get in his calendar. So I just went over and over and over with this. And I hadn't gotten my cardinal yet, but I had to make the game time decision. So I made the decision to be induced at 40 weeks. And I felt good once I made that decision because I was just no longer freaking out. And I was lying in my bathtub, texting my friend in my bathtub, not something I recommend. And I'm texting my friend Marianne, and I say, Marianne, this is my decision. I'm going to get induced in a week and a half, and this is the story. And she said, I'm so glad you made a decision. It sounds strong to me. And I know it's your decision, and I know it's all good because a cardinal just landed on my windshield. And she had no idea that was my sign. So I said, thank you. Unwavering faith in the universe. And the universe will continue to guide us to feel that connection and that protection and that wisdom when we ask for it, when we get back into alignment with it. What I said at the end of my choose again method out in the hall was, said, universe, thank you for giving me the energy. Guides, thank you for giving me the energy that I need to do the work that I need to do this week. Thank you for bringing that energy into my life. And life gets really easy and fun and joyful and simpler when you live in a super attractor energy. So tonight I want to guide you and show you what that means to me through you. I want to hear your stories, and I want to hear you open up about what it is that you need to shift and adjust so that we can bring that super attractor energy into this world. Okay? So, Lance, let's raise the lights.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
I know there's like a long line behind me.
Don't worry, sweetheart. Yeah, everyone's here. We love you.
I'm sorry.
We love you. Thank you, guys.
If we could do a tapping, speaking of family.
You want to tap with me?
Yeah, to break free from codependency.
Codependency, okay.
If it's okay with everyone.
Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. Sweetheart, I'm so glad you asked for what you need. You are a rock star. Oh my God. Rock star. Okay, so we're going to tap with her. If anyone's not familiar, emotional freedom technique is when you tap on different energy meridians. And you talk about the emotional disturbance while you tap. And what it does is it unlocks the amygdala to release that fear and that traumatic experience, in this case of codependency. And where are we from a scale of 0 to 10 with the codependency?
Off the charts.
Off the charts. Okay. And this is
11.
codependency with your parents, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel? Can you just tap right now on your karate chop point?
Yes,
And
please.
you guys can tap along, but don't speak. She's going to speak. You guys can tap along because what happens when you tap along is that you borrow the benefits. Okay? So talk to me a little bit about what's up.
I'm 31 and I felt guilt for coming here and making my own decision.
You felt guilt for even coming here tonight. Okay. Okay.
And just to have my own life
And having your own life.
and make my own choices.
Yeah. Are your parents putting that on you?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. So it's your choice and theirs.
Kind of.
Okay. You don't have to say where it stems from, but do you know where it stemmed from originally?
Vividly.
Yeah, you know. Okay. And what does that feel like when you think about where it stems from originally?
It feels like entrapment.
Entrapment? Beautiful. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm like ugly.
No, you're a rock star. I'm in love with you. I would love to just, support you in any way I can. Okay, so let's keep tapping. So what's the most pressing issue? I am codependent with my parents. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, like I feel guilty for being here, like I'm doing something.
So right now, why don't we work on the guilt?
Yes.
How about we start there, okay? Because when we tap, there's different, it's like a tabletop, and there's different aspects that we kind of have to kick out in order to knock the entire table down, okay? So let's start with this aspect of feeling guilty for being here tonight. Scale of 1 to 10, I imagine, is off the charts, yeah?
Very much.
Okay. So repeat after me, okay? Even though I feel guilty for being here tonight,
Even though I feel guilty for being here tonight,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Okay. Even though I feel so guilty for being here tonight,
Even though I feel so guilty for being here tonight,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I feel so guilty for being here tonight,
Even though I feel so guilty for being here tonight,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Eyebrow point. And I left my parents tonight,
I left my parents tonight.
side of the eye, and I'm terrified of what that means.
I'm terrified of what that means.
Under the eye, and I feel extremely scared.
I feel extremely scared.
Under the nose, I'm so scared.
I'm so scared.
Under the mouth, I'm so scared.
I'm so scared.
Collarbone, I'm scared for them and for me.
I'm scared for them and for me.
I felt like I should walk out.
I feel like I should walk out.
Top of the head, I'm so scared.
I'm so scared.
I'm scared of being alone.
I'm scared of being alone.
I'm scared of being separate from them,
I'm scared of being separate from them.
but I'm also scared of how codependent I am with them.
I'm scared of how codependent I am.
And I feel so guilty.
I feel so guilty.
I feel so guilty for leaving them.
I feel so guilty.
I feel so guilty for leaving them.
I feel so guilty for leaving them.
Even though I really wanted to be here tonight.
Even though I really wanted to be here tonight.
But I did it.
But I didn't.
I got out of the house.
I got out of the house.
And I'm here.
And I'm here.
And I got on the microphone.
I got on the microphone.
And I
I'm
asked for
freaking
what I
out.
wanted with a shitload of confidence.
I asked for what I wanted with a shitload of confidence.
And I'm tapping now and feeling very supported.
I'm happy and I'm feeling very supported.
And I'm not feeling alone right now at all.
I'm not feeling alone at all.
Because Gabby loves me. And I
Gabby
mean
loves
that.
me.
I mean that. I mean that. And the group is really giving me a lot of love.
And the group is gonna
And I'm on a spiritual path.
and I'm on a spiritual path.
And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
And healing is a process and it takes one day at a time.
And healing is a process and it takes one day at a time.
Right now I'm just going to work on the guilt.
Right now I'm just gonna work on the guilt.
And I'm just going to work on the guilt.
Just gonna work on the guilt.
And I'm going to trust that I'm going to go home with really high vibes tonight.
I'm gonna go home with really high vibes tonight.
And I'm going to bring those high vibes to my parents.
And I'm gonna bring those high vibes to my parents.
And they're going to be like, thank you.
And I'm gonna like, thank you.
Because really they just want me to be happy.
Because they just want me to be happy.
Do you not believe that?
No, my father was really abusive.
Okay.
I mean, my mother more than my father.
Okay. So right now I'm just going to work on being loved in this moment.
Right now, I'm going to work on being loved in this moment.
And I'm going to experience love maybe for the first time.
And I'm going to experience love maybe for the first time.
Deep love.
Deep love.
Because I'm surrounded by people who have had their traumas too.
I know.
And top of the head, and people who are suffering.
People who are suffering.
And people who want to feel better.
And people who want to feel better.
And people who want to feel free. Yeah, okay. And then let's get to a place right now where we feel good, okay? And people who are ready to feel free, okay?
People who are ready to feel free.
And tonight I feel more free.
And tonight I feel more free.
Collarbone, I feel more free. I feel more free. And if anyone's feeling triggered in this moment right now, just tap on this point right here.
I'm sorry if I triggered anyone.
What'd you say, sweetie?
I'm sorry if I triggered anyone.
No, you didn't. Listen, we come here to heal, right? We come here to heal. And I want you to tap if you're feeling triggered on this karate chop point, at this point right here between your pinky and your ring finger. And this is the holy shit point. And this is the point that you tap on when you're feeling, and I want you to breathe in, everybody, breathe in and breathe out and say, I am safe, the whole group. I am safe.
I'm safe.
I am safe.
I'm safe.
And even when big stuff comes up, I am safe.
Even when I'm safe, when big stuff comes up.
And even when big stuff comes up, I am safe.
I'm safe.
And back to you, my love. Keep tapping right here. I'm a rock star.
I'm a rock star.
My love, just hear it if you can't say it. I'm a rock star.
I'm feeling out of my body right now.
You're in your body or out of your body?
Out of my body.
Not in your body?
Not really
Okay.
present. I'm sorry.
Take a deep breath and release. Just stomp your feet a little bit. Shake out your arms a little bit. Stomp your feet some more. Shake out your arms. Can somebody grab, Corey, can you grab her hand? Just grab her hand. Okay, there you go. Okay, they're grounding you in this moment now. Deep breath in. 0 to 10 with the guilt. Where are you in this moment?
It feels like a 6.
A 6. Yeah, girl. She's shaking it. She's like dancing. You're at a 6, my love, okay? You asked for what you needed. It is given. You are feeling better now. You healed us in this room tonight. You are a rock star. I love you. Give your phone number and information to Annette, and I'm going to guide you to some deeper support that will help you more, okay? You open that door for yourself. Be very proud of yourself. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay? Nice job.
If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.